It is an honor to be here to this dignified and special event, the high point of the academic year. Today, we celebrate the accomplishments and academic achievements of our learners. Distinguished guests, graduates, completers, proud parents, our beloved teachers, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant day to everyone. Welcome to Primicias Elementary School Virtual Moving Up and Graduation Ceremony. To formally open our celebration, may I encourage the viewers to join us as we show our patriotism to our country by the singing of our national anthem, followed by a prayer, Region 1 hymn, Pangasinan hymn, SDO 1 Pangasinan hymn, and Mapandan hymn.
Bayang magiliw, pero sa silanganan, alam ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupang mountains and the rivers, through the plains and winding trails, to the shores where breezes linger. That's the place I love so well. It's the home of men who loved her, men who died to keep us free, men who told no bad the weather, that anyone will never be. Region 1, oh Region 1, there's no better place I see. Region 1, oh Region 1, dearest home by far to me. From her care I learn my lessons, in her veils I work and play. She has kept me safe and happy, as I live on day by day. From to other lands I wander, as I search for wealth and fame. In my heart I will remember Region 1, beloved name. Region 1, oh Region 1, there's no better place I see. Region 1, oh Region 1, dearest home by far to me. Other lands I wander, as I search for wealth and fame. In my heart I will remember Region 1, beloved name. Region 1!
Pangasinan niya binabli, daan mo tani aligwas, diuragod ko lawas. Dan puso Pangasinan, agkanalingwanan, luyak kuya niya nagan, bedegdakan yaman. Muna kaya nung kasih maluri di mapula, say pagkakasat pinakay nalilig na, labot ka na mabresika. Say dayan mundak na'y datuktan sa yaman, sa nagkakapalan ngayon, karoon ang tansamping mo Pangasinan. Pagyan ng lawas Bangayan, lawas na kanitang duro Pangasinan, arun kakang bayukuan, panangap pupong niya wala na bangunan, ikikinon kusyukaman, Pangasinan luyang minanyaman. kami kinalinga. Inakang sa amin nagbigay buhay, gagabay sa aming paglalakbay. Bigis ng pagkakaisang tunay tungo sa aming tagumpay. Alay sa iyo, buhay at tangal, kadakilaan mo ang tanging dasal. Kailanman at saan man kami magawin, ngalan mo'y taas noong ibang bubuni. Mapaglang bayan naming minumutya, mapaglang bayan naming minumutya, mapaglang.
Mrs. Caroline N. Soriano, our amiable school principal, will deliver her opening remarks.
Our OIC Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Ellie S. Ubaldo. Our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Criselda Ocang. Dr. Nicanor L. Langit, our Public Schools District Supervisor. My Primicias Elementary Teaching Staff, headed by Mrs. Elvira B. Bautista. PTA Officers, headed by Mr. Adrian Palagod. Dear parents, guests, friends, ladies and gentlemen, a blissful day to each and everyone. Let me first congratulate our candidates for the moving up and completers for the school year 2020-2021. Congratulations to all of you. Today, we celebrate your success after 7 long years of hardship, struggle, and perseverance. You are now savoring the victories that came upon your hands, despite this pandemic caused by COVID-19. I am quite happy because all your efforts and sacrifices were well paid off. This year's theme is Kalidad ng Edukasyon, lalong patatagin sa gitna ng pandemya, which talks mainly on your ability to cope with whatever challenges that may come your way. You were able to prove yourselves that you can be the best of what you are with determination and perseverance. Thank God for the bountiful provisions, your teachers for their immeasurable dedication, your parents for their unconditional support all throughout these years, and your friends who walk along with you and cheer you up. Again, my warmest congratulations to all. Mabuhay ang Primicias Elementary School.
At this point, we will hear the graduation message of our Deputy Secretary, Regional Director, Schools Division Superintendent, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, and our Public Schools District Supervisor.
Isang mapagpalang araw sa inyong lahat. Lubos ang aking kagalakan na makapagbigay ng mensahe sa inyo, mahal naming mga magulang, guro, punong guro, at higit sa lahat sa inyo, ating mga completers at graduates mula sa kindergarten, grade 6, grade 10, grade 12, at sa ating learners from the alternative learning system na pumasa sa portfolio assessment. Ang tema ng ating end of school year rights ay kalidad ng edukasyon, lalong patatagin sa gitna ng pandemya. Ang pandemyang dulot ng COVID-19 ang nag-udyok sa lahat ng educational leaders na gumawa ng mga tough choices sa gitna ng tanong, paano mapapangalagaan ang kaligtasan ng mga guro at paano maihahatid ang edukasyon sa mga mag-aaral. Ayon nga kay Secretary Briones, education must continue even in times of crisis. Sa pagtutulungan nga ng mga magulang, mag-aaral, kaguruan at stakeholders na itawid natin ang school year 2020-2021. Tunay ngang napakahalaga ng ating selebrasyon ngayong school year 2020-2021 because for the first time in history, the school and home have finally touched base together for a common aspiration. Nagpapatunay na malaki ang bahagi ng parental involvement sa academic achievement ng isang mag-aaral. As parents and teachers work together to address our children's needs, we're able to form a formidable team to combat ignorance and keep relevant values that every home and society cherish. Batid ko ang inyong mga pasakit at pinagdaanan, maitawid lamang ang inyong pag-aaral. Mental stress, dala ng independent learning, unstable internet connectivity, problema sa kahirapan ng buhay. Ngunit lahat ng ito ay napagtagumpayan ninyo. Ang inyong ipinakitang tibay ay kamangha-mangha. Ito ay nagpapakita ng katatagan ng ating mga mag-aaral. Lastly, gusto kong sabihin sa inyo, please appreciate your parents. To be a good father and mother requires that the parents defer many of their own needs and desires in favor of the needs of their children. You never know what sacrifices they went through for you. Respect your teachers. Teachers spend most of their nights planning, most of their mornings explaining, most of their afternoons correcting, most of their years encouraging, most of their lives stressing what matters most in life, and it's all for your future. So don't make their jobs more difficult. Congratulations to you, our precious children, parents, teachers, and school heads for continuously making the flames of education burn amidst the darkness of these times. Mabuhay!
To our officer in charge, Office of the Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Eli S. Ubaldo, our two Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Justado Cayabyab and Dr. Maria Crisilda Ucang, to all the principals, school heads of both elementary and secondary, teachers, parents, guardians, kindergarten, elementary, secondary, and ALS graduates and completers. My heartfelt thanks and congratulations. COVID times have been difficult, but your determination, courage, and engagement have brought you to the graduation time. This year's theme, Kalidad ng Edukasyon, lalong patatagin sa gitna ng pandemya. Your perseverance and hard work pays off today, and it is definitely an event to cherish. Wish you all the best for your next journey. Keep up the spirits high and continue to achieve success. Let us extend our gratitude to all parents for always being there and sustaining you all the way towards the fulfillment of your dreams. To the school administrators, teachers, and staff who supported and nurtured the learners, my grand salute for a job well done. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, but you did your best to support and continue the education of our learners. Nothing is impossible when we work as one. Again, congratulations and God bless us all.
To do the honors of presenting this year's candidates for completion, please welcome Ma'am Carolyn Soriano, our school principal. Dr. Nicanor L. Langit, our PSDS, will accept and confirm it thereafter.
Dr. Nicanor L. Langit, our Public Schools District Supervisor, I have the honor to present to you the 70 candidates for completion for the school year 2020-2021, of whom 43 are male and 27 are female, who have satisfactorily completed the basic requirements prescribed by the Department of Education under the K-12 curriculum. Sir, they are now ready for your acceptance and confirmation.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Department of Education, through the Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Eli S. Ubaldo, and acting upon the recommendation of your school principal, Mrs. Caroline N. Soriano, that you have satisfactorily completed the requirements of the elementary curriculum as prescribed by the Department of Education. I, Nicanor L. Langit, Public Schools District Supervisor, accept and confirm you graduates of Primicias Elementary School for this school year 2020-2021. With this, you are now entitled to receive your certificates this 12th day of July 2021. Congratulations!
And now, the highlight of today's affair is about to unfold in our midst. To present our candidates for graduation, may we have our very own school principal, Ma'am Carolyn Soriano, followed by acceptance and confirmation of our PSDS, Dr. Nicanor L. Langit.
Dr. Nicanor L. Langit, our public schools district supervisor, I have the honor to present to you the 62 candidates for moving up for the school year 2020-2021, of whom 33 are male and 29 are female, who have satisfactorily completed the basic requirements prescribed by the Department of Education under the K-12 curriculum. Sir, they are now ready for your acceptance and confirmation.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Department of Education, through the school's division superintendent, Dr. Ellie S. Ubaldo, and acting upon the recommendation of your school principal, Mrs. Caroline N. Soriano, that you have satisfactorily completed the requirements of the elementary curriculum as prescribed by the Department of Education. I, Nicanor L. Langit, Public Schools District Supervisor, accept and confirm you graduates of Primicias Elementary School for this school year 2020-2021. With this, you are now entitled to receive your certificates this 12th day of July 2021. Congratulations!
Hello everyone, here are the completers for the school year 2020 to 2021. Yours truly is the advisor of grade 6 Mapagbigay. Barion Ariel V. He is the son of Mr. and Mrs. Charles M. Barion. Bugal Jasper Kian F. He is the descendant of Mr. and Mrs. Melvin A. Bugal. Cabanes Arkin A. He is the child of Mr. and Mrs. Ariel L. Cabanes. Cabico Prince Kyle S., the descendant of Mr. and Mrs. Randy F. Cabico. Carbonell Sky G., the child of Mr. and Mrs. Lito D. Carbonell. Cas Yuan Cloud A., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Alvaro R. Cas. Castro Jim Lawrence S. He is the descendant of Mr. and Mrs. Mark Clarence M. Castro. Sarah Justin M., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Jesus M. Serra. Digala Rain Angelo A. He is the child of Mr. and Mrs. Ricardo R. Digala Jr. De la Cruz John Paul M. He is the descendant of Mr. and Mrs. Rogelio G. de la Cruz. Dugasan John Gabriel V., the child of Mr. and Mrs. Gaber C. Dugasan. Hernandez Dwayne James T., with honors, the descendant of Mr. and Mrs. Ronnie Ray A. Fernandez. Fernandez Lance Cleo Shane V., with honors, he is the son of Mr. and Mrs. Donald M. Fernandez. Fernandez Raymond D., the child of Mr. and Mrs. Richard D. Fernandez. Fernandez Rimson D., with honors, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Raymond S. Fernandez. Flores Lloyd Kirby C., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Virgilio B. Flores. Gallon Kurt Vincent C., the child of Mr. and Mrs. Junjun R. Gallon. Heron Giancarlo C., the child of Mr. and Mrs. Carlos A. Heron Jr. Portada Ashley Louise M., the child of Mr. and Mrs. Eric H. Portada. Martin Lawrence Lee D. He is the son of Mr. and Mrs. Larry M. Martin. Mata Giancarlo P., the descendant of Mr. and Mrs. Jerry M. Mata. Meneses Rainprod C., the child of Mr. and Mrs. Minel D. Meneses. Peje Adams Q. He is the son of Mr. Agustin Bautista and the late Miss Dominica Q. Peje. Kino Baby Myra L. She is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Michael P. Aquino. Balingi Justin Lee P., the child of Mr. and Mrs. Terry Boy P. Baniket. Slava Mary Jane A., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Melchor B. Slava. Fabia Jamaica N., with honors. She is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Agripino D. Fabia. Fernandez Angel B., with honors. She is the descendant of Mr. and Mrs. Rodel M. Fernandez. Mamayson Jade Ariel M., the child of Mr. and Mrs. Hinaro M. Mamayson Jr. Masaoy Paula Jane J. She is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Manuel T. Masaoy. Meneses Eliza Nicole S., with honors. She is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Ricardo T. Meneses. Undogon Ashley Angel F., with honors. She is the descendant of Mr. and Mrs. Roel Undogon. Paragas Jamil Grace C., with honors. The child of Mr. and Mrs. Frances S. Paragas. Changson Princess Asherella P., the descendant of Mr. and Mrs. Peter B. Changson. Valencia Marian Jasmine D. She is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Manny M. Valencia. Valencia Rhea Ann C. She is the daughter of Miss Anita G. Valencia.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the completers from grade 6 Mapitagan for school year 2020-2021. Baryon Christian Jade F. with honors, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Roldan M. Baryon. Bernabe Ryan Louis J., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Roderick O. Bernabe. Crisostomo Andre M., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Dennis S. Crisostomo. Quaresma Tristan Jonas M., with honors, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Lorenzo E. Quaresma. Dedumo Adrian Dredd R., with honors, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Edwin P. Dedumo. Dedumo Mark Vincent C., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Marlon S. Dedumo. Derillo Angelo A., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Norman C. Derillo. Estares Restis C., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Ruben B. Estares. Fernandez Joshua Rain A., the son of Mr. Jerome T. Fernandez and Miss Imelda G. Aderino. Flores Christian Kurt A., the son of Mr. Virgilio D. Flores and Miss Rhea S. Aquino. Mamayson Darrell B., with honors, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Godofredo M. Mamayson. Mamayson John Kenneth, with honors, the son of Miss Sunny S. Mamayson. Mamay Son John Mark S. with honors, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Jomar L. Mamayson. Meneses Christian P., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Wilfredo D. Meneses. Serapion Carl Ezekiel P., with honors, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Oscar C. Serapion. Soto Jefferson Y., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Fernando A. Soto Jr. Chanan John Lawrence S., the son of Mr. and Mrs. J.P. L. Chanan. Tumagkaw John Michael R., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Ramil M. Tumagkaw. Ventura Dylan A., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Dante T. Ventura. Viernes John Richard M., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Richard A. Viernes. Aquino Michelle S., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Gregorio Greg G. Aquino. Aquino Sabrea Eliza F., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Salde A. Aquino. Barlaan Anika Shane C., with honors, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Michael I. Barlaan. Bautista Erica G., with honors, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Michelle F. Bautista. Flores Giselle M., with honors, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Jesse M. Flores. Descalzo Ruth M., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Rodel M. Descalzo. Flores Jasmine L., with honors, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Jose M. Flores. Imperial Kathleen R., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Jaime M. Imperial Jr. Pinuliar Aliana S., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Alan S. Pinuliar. Perez Cheska Eunice A., with honors, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Mario M. Perez. Serafika Hanami N., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Edgardo L. Serafika. Soriano Nicole C., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Andres D. Soriano Jr. Soto Micaela P., with honors, the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Sagani C. Soto. And Tabula Kisha M., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Victor M. Tabula.
Good day, everyone. Here are the movers of Kindergarten AM School Year 2020-2021. Adelante David Chan D., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Joselito H. Adelante. Tino Alvin D., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Sunny A. Aquino. Barion Kobe L., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Daniel M. Barion. Man Aidan Sanders C., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Nazareno L. de Guzman. De Jesus Ezekiel Joseph A., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Mark Lester B. De Jesus. De Vera Marcos Jr. L., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Marcos L. De Vera. Diego John Rick S., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Franklin Gallego. Guillermo Edmark H., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Eduardo D. Guillermo. Lorenzo Mark Angelo F., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Patrocinio D. Lorenzo. Mamayson Prince Nathaniel, the son of Mrs. Mary Rose L. Mamayson. Paragas Prince Nathan C., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Francis S. Paraga. Profeta John Lemar C., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Rimar L. Profeta. Sevilla Dwayne Johnson B., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Ronel M. Sevilla. Tabog Dimaros M., the son of Mrs. Rosalind M. Tabog. Soria Mac Ivan Ferrero V., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Tommy P. Soria. Velasco Chumel P., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Jose A. Velasco Jr. Velasco Chumer T., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Jose A. Velasco Jr. Agustin Klein Claire S., the daughter of Mrs. Mariel Kimberly S. Agustin. Aranel Razel P., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Ellie M. Aranel. Baryon Charles Angel V., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Charles M. Baryon. Carbonell Samantha Kate E., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Alexis U. Carbonell. De Vera Andrea B., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Arnel D. De Vera. Fabia Samantha Ariela M., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Ariel D. Fabia. Fernandez Archea V., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Armando S. Fernandez. Fernandez Ishan Hope C., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Jefferson P. Fernandez. Mamaison Faye Lorraine H., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Julius M. Mamaison. Emilio Sophie S., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Joel J. Emilio. Paragas Shara May M., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Randy M. Paragas. Pinullar Geraldine Pearl S., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Gerardo T. Pinullar Jr. Pinullar Kevin Grace M., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Ronnie S. Pinullar. Tumulostro Alexis Nina S., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Jason B. Tumulostro. Soto Iza Shakira B., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Isagani C. Soto. Benluan Azel Lynette Q., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Azel Benluan. Congratulations, thank you, and God bless.
Good morning. I have the honor to present to you the candidates for moving up kindergarten PM of Primicias Elementary School this school year 2020-2021. Abarcar Dan Erel B., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Daniel L. Abarcar. Camacho Prince Jet L., the son of Mr. and Mrs. GC F. Camacho. De Guzman Jefferson P., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Joel R. De Guzman. Ibabaw Sian Gabriel B., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Jerome M. Ibabaw. Fernandez Albert S., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Robertson L. Fernandez. Ibay Junilo Jr. P., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Junelo B. Ibay. Labasan Gerald C., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Jolios P. Labasan. Marinas Jacob M., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Julie Marinas. Marinas Kyle Joshua V., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Joshua M. Marinas. Meneses Kid Adrian M., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Ijo M. Meneses. Morales Jesus, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Jesus Salvador Sira. Nama Leon, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Billy B. Nama. Perez Rap Andrew E., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Mario M. Perez. Prangan Franz Neo B., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Rolly M. Prangan. Rapanya Prince Clint Kizer, the son of Mr. and Mrs. Anthony R. Rapanya. Tibonsay Jenan L., the son of Mr. and Mrs. Jerry G. Tibonsay. Bakani Selvia P., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Alvin Jennifer M. Bakani. Cabico Pila Lorraine S., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Randy F. Cabico. Carbonell Princess D., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Blener D. Carbonell. Carreño Kylie Mayumi R., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Guinnett C. Carreño. Cayabyab Benos In., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. R.G. R. Cayabyab. Didomo Steffi Arian P., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Agard G. Ramirez. Dilagala Jazz E., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Ricardo Jr. R. Dilagala. Staris Almera C., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Ruben D. Staris. Fernandez Rosalind G., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Wilson D. Fernandez. Mendoza Janice S., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Jonathan D. Mendoza. Nato Chanel Scarlett M., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Edson S. Nato. Hinahon Mariel S., the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Mardi A. Hinahon. Tabula Maria Bancel Grace, the daughter of Mrs. Benny M. Tabula. Congratulations and God bless you. Thank you.
At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, let us lend our ears to the words of gratitude of one of our completers, Carl Ezekiel P. Serapion, with honor.
To our OSC Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Eli Ubaldo. To our OSC Assistant Division Superintendent, Dr. Creselda Okang. To our very dedicated District Supervisor, Dr. Nicanor L. Langit. To our beautiful and supportive school principal, Madam Caroline Soriano. To my very active advisor, Madam Michelle Ricamona. To all untiring teachers of Primicias Elementary School. To all beloved parents, guests, my fellow students, a pleasant morning to all. I was a grade 5 pupil when COVID-19 spread like a wildfire in the country. Life in the Philippines totally changed. Thus, in education, just like any other pupil, I spent more hours in school than home. And eventually, school felt home than just a school merely for studying. My classmates became my friends, and to some extent, some of us treated each other like siblings. Our dear teachers became our second parents, who scold us endlessly and yet patiently impart knowledge tirelessly. Then, pandemic happened. It turned everything upside down. Pupils of my age have seen education from two different perspectives. We have seen how education changed in a blink of an eye, and we struggled pushing ourselves to continue learning despite the changes that happened. From a school full of boys and girls and our laughter echoing, now I only see school so far away from home, empty and lifeless. Imagining how it was before, hearing the laughter I used to hear, so distant and almost fading at the back of my mind. The pandemic indeed brought education and access to the safety of our homes and the supervising eyes of our parents 24/7. It hindered us from adventurous exploration of our own and the experience of a gradual shift of independence from the comfort of our homes. It even made our health rely on alcohol and face masks. I know we have different stories of struggles in learning, though many of you might also agree to my story. We have not exchanged much of our stories just like before, whispering to each other's ears and laughing silently in the four corners of our classrooms. Now, when we talk in distance through the blasting phone speakers. To my fellow completers, we made it through even if COVID-19 is just around us. Our efforts in adjusting from traditional learning to different channels of learning have paid off. To our alma mater that kept us for 6 wonderful years and watched us make the best memories of our youth. Thank you for giving us the best experience a grade school could ever have. To my mentors, teachers, and advisors, in behalf of my fellow competitors, we sincerely thank you for your effort and sacrifices. We appreciate all of you so much. We know that sometimes you work beyond your duties as our teachers. There's no perfect word that could definitely explain how grateful we are. You truly are public servants. And most importantly, we thank our parents who put us in school even how life could be so difficult for adults. I worry for myself and the small things that happen around me. And yet, parents worry in everything. That is how harsh adulting could be. We are so busy growing up, finishing our tasks in school and how we could play outside again without the worry for our health. But we are also aware that you are growing old. To all parents, thank you for your service and unconditional love. We have different stories to tell, different circumstances and experiences just to make our first step of the ladder come true. To my friends, classmates, and co-completers, we finally made it.
Congratulations, completers and graduates! We are happy to celebrate our virtual moving up and graduation ceremony with you. However, everything will end, but this end will be remembered. Before we formally conclude this wonderful event, may we have our General PTA President, Mr. Adrian P. Palagud, for his closing remarks.
Sa ating pinakamasipag na Assistant School Division Superintendent OIC, Dr. Eli Ubaldo, Public School District Supervisor, Dr. Nicanor E. Langit, sa ating mapagmahal at napakasipag na punong guro, Madam Caroline Soriano, sa lahat ng mga guro ng Primicias Elementary School, magandang araw po sa lahat. Ako po ay malugod na bumabati sa lahat ng mga mag-aaral na magtatapos at makakatanggap ng karangalan sa iba't ibang grade level ngayong taong panuruan 2020-2021 na may temang kalidad ng edukasyon, lalong patatagin sa gitna ng pandemya. Sa araw na ito, ang pagdiriwang ng pangalawang pagtatapos ng ating mga mag-aaral sa panahon ng pandemya, kaya ako ay lubos na nagagalak at nagpapasalamat sa lahat ng mga guro, mag-aaral at mga magulang sa kanilang sakripisyo upang mairaos ang edukasyon ng mga minamahal nating mga anak sa panahon ng krisis at pandemya, upang makapagtapos sila ng pag-aaral na susi sa kanilang magandang kinabukasan. Higit sa lahat, tayo ay magpasalamat sa dakilang lumikha, sa lakas ng katawan, biyaya at karunungan na ibinigay sa atin araw-araw. Kaya, in behalf of our PTA officers, maraming salamat at congratulations.